Good morning, foolish adventurers, and welcome back to the channel. I am Amalgam Ash, and today I want to play DungeonQuest using El-Adoran Sureshot. El-Adoran Sureshot has the following characteristics: 3 strength, 8 agility, 5 armor, and 7 luck. He has 11 life points and 4 arrows. A mechanic not yet seen on the channel. We'll place our trackers and start this time in the southwestern tower of Dragonfire Castle. Now we begin. I actually have a record of El-Adoran making it out alive with 230 gold pieces. Let's see if I can beat that record. I know, however, that I did not make it to the center room. I played several times with El-Adoran, and not once did I make it to the center room. We are playing with the Catacombs expansion installed, which does make the game a bit harder. And for my ring of choice, I will choose the Ring of Healing. The tile itself, Chit, being from the Heroes of DungeonQuest expansion. I just know that it's going to be necessary. We will commence going into the eastern tile. Eastern room. And luckily, we have a room with 2 exits, other than the one through which we just stepped. This is a regular room, so we'll draw a room card, and we have immediately found a passage down, which I need to consult the Catacombs rules to see what that means. The effects of this card are optional, but I will choose to go into the Catacombs, and as such I'll be placing a passage down tile on the room tile. I am now in the Catacombs. We'll advance the sun tracker by 1, and on this next turn I will be drawing Catacombs cards until I find an exit. This ought to take me further into Dragonfire than I've ever been able to take El-Adoran Sureshot. I hope. First card is a giant ruby worth 350 gold pieces. If I manage to leave Dragonfire Castle, I will have broken my previous record. But that is a paltry amount of treasure. So, we'll continue. And the next Catacombs card, empty. This is fine. We take the Catacombs card and advance the sun tracker, continue through. Empty. El-Adoran continues to crawl carefully through the corridors, steeling his nerves for the next encounter. Continuing his passage through the dark crypts. His tension only builds the longer he has to wait before he finds something of note, a hole in roof. We must now roll to find out where we exit the Catacombs, where we end up in Dragonfire Castle. So, to this end, we'll count up all of the Catacombs cards that we have obtained, which is a total of 5, and now we have to follow a special table in the rules on the reference sheet that tells us exactly how many spaces we've traveled and what the left or right deviation is. There will only be a left deviation because I traveled in this direction, but that's perfectly fine. I should have chosen to travel in this direction so that the right deviation could have taken me closer to the treasure room. Alright, we have to roll a d10, and I get a 9. And because I have 5 cards and have rolled a 9, I will move 5 spaces, and I'll have a right deviation of 1, which actually means nothing because I can't exit Dragonfire. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brings me right here. And this, I think, is actually fine. I now return all of the Catacombs cards, except for my treasure, back to their deck, and the rules say to give it a good shuffle. So, while I'm shuffling, I just wanted to say that I found out about DungeonQuest either while looking at HeroQuest games or by watching Always Bored Never Boring's channel, but if I found it the former way, I learned about it by watching Always Bored Never Boring's channel. So just yet another thank you to Always Bored Never Boring for the playthroughs. They were very entertaining and actually got me through a pretty rough time at work. I was allowed to have YouTube up and watch videos while I was working, and that actually did help me out a lot. I have some gratitude for that for sure. Rough period at work last year, but now everything's much better. We have ended up in this room, and I like this room. I like this result, so I'm going to keep it. Place our hero back onto the board and move the sun tracker. We now continue our game, and I'm going to move, obviously, perhaps into the northern chamber. And it is a corridor, not a corridor, quite, not proper, but a room that will wind kind of back the way I came. Take a look at the room card, it's empty. That's fine, absolutely fine. By the way, I know I can take advantage of the situation being on camera, but I promise you, for what my word is worth, that I shuffled these cards and I have not looked at the top of each card or anything like that. This is a blind playthrough. We'll advance the sun tracker and continue our journey, this time west. These room tiles are shuffled pretty well as well. West, actually, looks promising. We've got a way up now. Draw a room tile, card, and we have run into an orc. We are going to wait and see what the orc does. Wait a minute. No, we're going to fire an arrow at the orc. This will initiate an attack phase. It's missed entirely. There was no point to doing that whatsoever. Hooray. Hooray, indeed. The orc now knows that we're here. If I had waited and seen, it would have been combat with 6 LPs, but because I chose to attack, the orc is fleeing. That's great. Combat of 6 life points with the orc if I had waited and seen what he was doing. And instead, he flees. He sees the arrow. He's already spooked because of some other happenings, other run-ins he's had in Dragonfire Castle this morning. He did not expect an arrow to be flying out of the darkness, and he's not having any of it. He immediately runs away. Sometimes you get good luck in Castle Dragonfire. Sometimes good things happen. Sometimes we pay for those good things. We'll advance the sun tracker and this time move into the northern tile. Which brings me to another straight room, not a corridor, unfortunately. I would love corridor tiles. Draw a room card. This time we found a crypt. How can I not open the crypt? So I will choose to open the crypt. We'll draw from the crypt deck, and I have found a potion. Perhaps we will see a need to drink this potion. We don't know what it does yet. That will be up to RNG to decide. RNGesus. We will put our room card back, as well as... oh, that's all. And we'll continue our journey. The sun track moves 1. Feels like we've been here for ages. All we could do is press on towards where we know the center of Dragonfire is. I'll continue to press north. This time, I've run into the dreaded Chamber of Darkness. There's nothing that I can do this turn. So, the sun track moves as I flounder my way, trying to reach out for walls so that I can guide myself along them. Where will I end up? With a roll of 1 or 2, I'll leave the way I came. 3 or 4, the closest exit clockwise. 5 or 6, the closest exit counterclockwise. It's a 1. I've ended up back in the room from which I came, drawing a room tile. Fortunately, this room is empty, and the only thing wasted is my time. we advance the sun track. And I try this once more. Into the room of darkness. The sun track advances as I find my way out, and I do, into the western tile. Room, rather. Let's draw a room tile. We have another room that facilitates escape. I'm moving right into it and drawing a room card. My torch has gone out. The torch gone out card is not a good one to get. Every turn now, I will need to select numbers on the dice and then roll it. If I get the numbers that I select, I can light my torch. My turn is over now, so I have to advance the sun track. And I'm starting to feel the anxiety creep in. I'm going to choose a 1, a 2, and a 3. We choose 3 numbers and then roll the 6-sided dice. If I roll a 1, 2, or 3, I'll have relit my torch. Thankfully, I have relit my torch. And I can now take my turn as normal. This basically means that I haven't suffered any losses in time. Let's go over here now. Let's see if I can continue my lucky streak. Yes! Another tile. This one leading straight through. Draw a room card. Oh, it's a Death Warrior. I'm not sure which one's worse, but I think a Death Warrior comes in second to the Champion of Chaos. I think I will wait and see what the Death Warrior does. Death Warrior engages me in combat. He sees me waiting. He's fearless. He's a dead skeleton knight. We have combat. He has 5 LPs. I don't like that at all. First combat. First real combat of the game. Let's begin rolling our 12-sided die. On a roll of 1 to 3, El-Adoran Sureshot will be hit and will lose a life point. On a roll of 4 to 6, the Death Warrior and El-Adoran will exchange blows, hitting each other and each losing a life point. On a roll of 7 to 9, El-Adoran Sureshot will get a hit in on the Death Warrior, causing 1 LP of damage. And on the roll of a 10, the Death Warrior will have a critical blow inflicted on him, losing 2 life points. Of note, I will ignore rolls of 11 and 12. Which kind of makes me wonder why I wouldn't just roll a d10. Well, because the d12 is what comes with the game. The d10 comes with the expansion, so it's kind of convoluted. I guess I'll just roll a d10 instead of a d12, because I have a d10. So we'll count the 0 as a 10. And that's a 1. Rolling the d10 has proven to be a bad decision. The Death Warrior moves in, slicing El-Adoran's wrist before he can get a chance to grab dagger from his belt. But El-Adoran jumps back. Flinching from the pain, he manages to pull out his dagger and lunges forward, very swiftly, attacking the Death Warrior. We won't ask what business a dagger has attacking a skeleton. Roll again. Oh, but the Death Warrior is unfazed by this attack and pushes El-Adoran into the corridor wall. El-Adoran recovers and immediately brings the backside of his clenched fist into the Death Warrior's skull. The Death Warrior, in response, swings his offhand at El-Adoran, but is met with a second blow to the ribs. Both warriors have struck one another. El-Adoran Sureshot. Oh, that's quite the corner that's landed on. Let us try that again. El-Adoran Sureshot attempts to kick the Death Warrior, who in turn has swung his sword at just the precise time to cut El-Adoran's leg. 'Tis but a flesh wound. Finally, the Death Warrior manages to follow up the cut, damaging El-Adoran. In response, El-Adoran, I will count that as a 5. And I'll make a note to get a better dice tray. Brings a knee up with all of his might into the gut of the slightly bent Death Warrior, who cannot take any more punishment, even though he has successfully hit El-Adoran once more time. Once more time, he crumples to the ground, a pile of naught but bones and armor. Once inhabited by an evil force, the Death Warrior is slain. It was a long battle, as DungeonQuest goes. Let us continue. Of course, by going north. And I run into a trap. This time, let's not forget to move the sun tracker. Having moved into a room with a trap, I will draw a trap card and hope for the best. An explosion right outside the treasure chamber. Damage 4 LPs and miss a turn. It's not even 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, I was 1 life point away from being killed by the explosion. I have 1 to spare, and I've missed my turn. That means I move the sun tracker twice. But before I do anything, I'm going to use my Ring of Healing, because I don't believe I have a chance at getting anything done without doing this. Any surprise attacks will bring me out of the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With at least 50% of my health, I'm confident again. And now, what to do? I can attempt to leave by going back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then it's a matter of searching for 8, stepping out again, 9, and there's the tower room. I don't have that many hours left. My only chance at getting out of here is drawing corridors. And I don't want to leave without getting treasure from the center room. I have, however, already beaten my previous record, so I think I'm going to attempt to leave the castle so close to the room. So close to the treasure room. How many tiles would I need to draw to get out of here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's the most. That's the most that I can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I entered the treasure room, then it would be 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. It would be 10. I would need to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I might be able to make it if I draw at least 1 corridor on the way out. I'll do it. I'll attempt to flee Dragonfire Castle by the skin of my teeth. We'll run into the next corridor. And I'll profusely apologize to anybody who wanted to see me get into the treasure room. It is a corridor. We immediately get to run, and obviously I'm going to run south. This is not good. Well, it's a room, and there's a door along the side. We'll definitely get to open that door, or attempt to open that door. Let's see what the room card says. The room itself is empty. So far, so good. We do have to move the sun tracker. However, I'm going to open the door. Please, please, open the door. It's jammed shut. It's not good. We'll have another chance to open the door. But we've already wasted the advantage that we got from drawing the corridor. Open the door. It's a trap. I have to suffer the damage rolled on a d6, and that's 3. There are no modifiers. No way that my characteristics can help me. I simply lose 3 health due to trap damage. This is not going well, not boding well whatsoever. When this sun track reaches the skull, all of the doors of Dragonfire Castle will close, and the dragon will come out hunting, killing anybody inside. Except for, of course, I suppose the cursed inhabitants and the goblins and orcs. We'll try the door one more time. As if the door is continuing to be jammed shut. Move that to the bottom of the deck. The sun track moves. I am desperately pounding on this door, trying everything I know to get it to open. At this point, I could have easily just taken the rooms adjacent and possibly hoped to obtain corridors to leave. But no. Stubbornness is going to be the death of me. The door continues to be jammed shut. How? It's going to be a lonely, sad death for El-Adoran very soon. We try the door one more time, and it is a trap once more. This time, the damage is D6, and I believe this is the first time I've happened upon this particular door tile. There's an errata for this one in the box. It says damage D6 minus 3 minus luck, but it should say damage D6 plus 3 minus luck. So, the damage is a D6 plus 3, which is 5, which means my damage is 8, minus my luck, which is 7. El-Adoran has 7 luck, which means this trapped door, luckily, very, very luckily, only caused 1 life point of damage. However, we are down to 2 life points of damage, and exactly 3 turns left. We try the door again. It has to open. It has to open. The door opens. We're moving south. We hope to draw a corridor. We do not. We draw a portcullis, which slams down behind us as we enter the room. I continue to draw a room card, and there's a crypt. I will not be opening the crypt. There is one risk that these crypts all have, and that is that they may contain a skeleton, and while the corpse that they contain may be completely harmless or have massive amounts of treasure, it could also be a death warrior. So in this instance, I will not be exploring the crypt. The sun tracker moves again, and El-Adoran does everything he can to run wildly towards the exit, tears streaming down his face in fear. Another portcullis room. The only sounds he can hear, the rusted metal sliding into place after he has stepped on the trapped plate. And a death warrior has followed us into this room. I will immediately fire an arrow at the death warrior, because I do not have the time to engage him otherwise. And I have rolled a 3. With the death warrior, who is a skeleton, a 3 misses. And so begins combat. The death warrior flees. He actually flees. He's not going to engage me in battle. That is incredible. Having fleen the death warrior, I can only imagine, is cackling with delight knowing that in just an hour, El-Adoran Sureshot will be trapped in the castle forever. This is it. The last tile that I can draw. It is a rotating room, which does nothing for poor El-Adoran, as the room rotates 180 degrees upon my entering it. If there had been any time left, El-Adoran would have been able to run into the following room. However, all light ceases to be as the doors slam close all around the castle. The dragon, beginning his evening stretch and yawn, after which he picks up on the scent of a certain ranger who has trespassed in his castle. The dragon easily follows the corridor and the scent of the adventurer, brushing off any portcullises that might dare to stand in his way. Uninterested in the mechanics of the rotating room, the dragon simply manually rotates it back with his immense bestial claws, And when he finds the delicious lunch inside, for which he worked hard to obtain, it's only a matter of time before El-Adoran Sureshot is skewered on his own bow and arrow. That doesn't make sense. El-Adoran Sureshot has died. And that ends my playthrough of today's Dungeon Quest. Thank you all very much for watching. Once again, we have failed. Please let me know what you thought. Comments below. If you like this sort of content, please consider checking out the other things on the channel, perhaps subscribing if you wish. I will see you in the next episode. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Until next time, bye for now.